What's up, YouTube? It is Charisma, and I'm back with another video. I know I've been gone for a minute. I did say I would try to be more consistent, but what can I say? Life happens. A whole lot has been going on. A whole lot. We talked about it briefly on the last video. I had to get a restraining order against my abuser. And that just kind of had my mind messed up because it's like I have been struggling so long for him to get rid of him, to get him out of my life. And then when the judge ordered the no contact, it's like I'm so used to fighting against something or someone or being in an abusive situation. I know it's doing myself. Actually felt sad, actually felt lost. That's the only way I can think of it, and felt ashamed even of myself, because a lot of just the red pill movement going on. These mostly men will try to get you to believe that, oh no, it's the women's fault. Women are always playing or using the victim card, and they use the courts to their advantage to get good brothers caught up. And it's just trying to make it seem like no abuse is going on, no domestic violence is going on, when clearly it is, because it's women who are losing their lives every day, who weren't as blessed as me to be able to get a restraining order, or rather get the individual that the restraining order was on to comply with it. Because some of these abusers don't care. They don't care nothing about no restraining order. The only thing that you can really do to save yourself is to hightail it on out of the city, disappear, become a ghost so that they can't find you. And that's what I would recommend for anybody. Honestly, recommend for a woman going through a real violent, abusive situation with a man. Get out of there, because at the end of the day, a restraining order is nothing but a piece of paper. My abuser is a coward. So when the spotlight was shined on his abuse, then he stopped because he doesn't want to go to jail. But some of these abusers don't care nothing about no jail. They don't care nothing about that. Please just leave as far as you can. Get away. There are resources out there, your local women's shelter, and maybe your church. Maybe maybe you have a good church, but that's a whole nother issue for me, because I have experienced a lot of church hurt. And to be honest, the church isn't as responsive to these types of things as they could be, and they leave a lot of people out there suffering without a lifeboat, without a way. And that's the honest to God truth. So don't count on that. What I'm saying is not that help is not in a church, but don't depend on it. Don't count on it. Try to get as many resources as you can from as many, until you find an organization that is going to walk with you every step of the way. I'm talking about resources to get you safe and out of the situation, to give you safe housing. If you have children, get your children out the situation, provide court assistance so that you can get the restraining order process started. Providing you with relocation assistance as you need. There's a national domestic violence number that I highly recommend. Not only will they talk with you in an immediate crisis, but they will provide resources depending on your city and state where you're at to connect you with local organizations. So I would start, honestly, just Google domestic violence, and the national domestic violence number pops right up. So that is the first step. And I know a lot of people talk about that. They'll scream, well, you need to love yourself. If you loved yourself, you would never be in an abusive situation. And, you need to love yourself more, and this will never happen. And there's a tiny kernel of truth to that, because what happens is, a lot of times these predators, because yes, they are predators, they will prey on women with low self-esteem, with vulnerabilities. And it doesn't necessarily have to be low self-esteem. You're just vulnerable. It could be you're alone, you don't have family, you don't have friends, you have children, you might be a single mother, and they might have ulterior motives. They might be child molesters wanting to get close to you so that they can get to the children. It's just a lot of different scenarios that can make a person vulnerable. Me personally, I fit the criteria of all of this, because the childhood trauma, adverse childhood experiences primed me for the abuse. It primed me for it. Not having family who was there for me, who could be my support system, um, feeling isolated, and that fed my low self-esteem, sense of worthlessness, because how I've been treated as a child and an adolescent. It made me feel like I deserved to be treated this way. So I accepted a lot of things that are really and truly unacceptable. So sometimes there's pain when you grow, and sometimes there's definitely going to be pain if you stay and remain the same. So the pain is, in 2024, I promised myself I was not going to, if I saw red flags, I was going to disconnect myself from a situation. I was not going to stay thinking and hoping that the situation get better, that, reliving my trauma, thinking that I could somehow make all of the past trauma better by getting it right in this particular situation. Reenactment is what they call it in the psychological field. So that's honestly, it's different for everybody, but I would say the reason why I stayed in the cycle of abuse so long was trying to reconcile the abuse that I had faced prior, thinking that if I can somehow get it right in this situation, that it will absolve me of the guilt I felt that I unfairly held against myself for the things that I had no control over. So it's taking professional help. It's taking psychological help to get help for that mindset, getting out of that mindset. And honestly, sometimes there's pain involved in the process of healing, because when you do the right things for yourself, the people who have been abusing you, who want to abuse you, they're not going to be happy that you're standing up for yourself, your rights, and standing in your power and in your autonomy, because they want you down and out so that they can abuse you down into the ground and do whatever they want to do with you. So long story short, I must be growing, because I had a situation. I had just started a new job, and within 2-3 days, there were red flags that this is a toxic work environment. It's toxic. It's unhealthy. It's abusive. It's downright abusive. And I had to make a decision. I left the salaried position, and they told a lot of lies about the pay structure. And, there was abuse and bullying that I saw within the organization, all the way up to the top, all the way to the owner, and just a lack of accountability and a factor of greed, and just lack of integrity within the company and how it was run. And I had to make a decision for myself. No, I don't have anything lined up. I don't. But I could not stay in this situation where my mental health would suffer. I said 2024, we're not doing abuse. I have to and I will stand in my power. I'm not going to allow people to continue to mistreat me. And if I have to stand alone, and if I have to walk away, that's what I'm going to do, because I can't reconcile going back into a situation where I know, A, nothing has changed, and B, I feel like, I have to be all on guard. It got to a point I started wearing my COVID mask, because I just felt like I had to protect myself. I had to protect myself even from these people from looking into my countenance, because it's a type of situation where, they might misinterpret a facial expression and try to attack you and say, oh, you have an attitude, because they're running narrative, Black women are nasty and we have bad attitudes, and just the stuff you have to deal with, especially coming from where I come from. I'm from up south, Indianapolis. A lot of people don't know nothing about Indianapolis. Let me tell you. Don't come here. I highly don't come here. If anybody tells you, oh, you should come to Indianapolis, it's cost of living is cheap, yeah, but it's not a healthy environment for any person of color, especially a Black person. It's deep-seated, institutionalized racism embedded in the structure, the infrastructure of the city itself. And it's going to take, what our claim to fame is in Indianapolis. When Martin Luther King died, all the other big cities, Chicago, You know, certainly Atlanta, I believe, they rioted when King died. Our claim to fame in Indianapolis, we were the only major city that did not riot when MLK died, and that was based on fear. We were afraid. Black folks were so afraid in this city that we couldn't even stand up against the injustice of MLK dying, and that's our claim to fame, you know. But and it's bad. It's really bad. I talked to a person, I drive Uber and Lyft, and I talked to a man from Alabama, said it's worse here in Indianapolis than in Alabama. He said, talked to a white man from Texas, said, man, this racism is a thing here. You know, that's all I could hear. All the out-of-towners I drive, they say the same thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's like, you know, confirmation that, you know, a lot of times, you know, the power that be the, you know, the white supremacist structure will say, oh no, you need to get over it. Racism ended, you know, slavery's over 300 years ago and you need to get over it. Everything is changed. Everything's better, you know. But if that's the case, how come with Juneteenth being made a holiday, you know, most of these companies up here do not acknowledge Juneteenth. They do not acknowledge Martin Luther King Jr. Day. But they sure enough acknowledge 9/11. They sure enough acknowledge and want to push the Holocaust. Me being in the public school system, working as a preschool teacher, that's a whole nother story I'm going to have to get into at a later date. Another instance of abuse in the workplace. And that goes to show you, I guess my therapist told me that you know that you're getting better and healing when that, you know, different areas of your life, the healing trickles from different areas of your life. So mostly my main concern was, okay, so I don't want to get abused in an intimate partner relationship, but that's trickled over to my work. Like I'm not going to be abused in any area of my life, period. And that's just how I feel. And if that comes with pain, it hurts. Don't you think this don't hurt? You don't think that I have cried that I have to leave this job? I love working with children. I'm working with autistic children in ABA therapy. I love these children. The children wasn't the issue. Even the ones who bit me and kicked me and punched me, you know, it's all par for the course. That's not why I'm leaving. I'm leaving because of the other stuff, the abuse from grown-ups, you know, who are supposed to be helping children that they're not helping. But we're going to talk about it in another instance, because I'm trying to keep my videos a certain length, and it'll give me other things to talk about in other videos. Like I said, trying to be more consistent. I believe strongly that YouTube is a part of my healing, because I feel like I have so many stories, so many things to offer the world regarding my experiences and how they impacted me. And hopefully somebody can take away something from my monologues and dialogues and can take it and can find some use for it to improve their own lives, because each one's each one. And in my core, I'm a teacher. That's what I'm going to school for. That's what I love to do. And it's been a long time coming for me to even come up here and do this YouTube video, because there's a lot of shame involved in putting myself out there like that, because sometimes the people who comment on your videos are not very nice. They're mean. They say really mean things. And just, you know, Decepticons, haters, you know, whatever you want to call them, naysayers, you know, hecklers. That's all part of it, though. But I pray for the strength from God up above to be able to push through that shame internally, and so that I don't reflect on the negativity, because I know there are people, shout out Beulah the Bride, who wished me well maybe a couple weeks ago, and that's honestly that one supporter, you know, gave me the strength to come back on here and get back on here. Because if I can reach one person, if I can tell one person my story and they get something from it, then God has used me, and that's the answer to a prayer in and of itself. So I just, you know, pray for everybody who is listening, who has gotten to the end. Thank you for your support, your continued support on this YouTube journey, because I'm not done. I'm not through. I'm going to push through the pain, because there's purpose in it, and get to where God needs to me to be, which is higher and higher, from glory to glory. And God bless you all. Peace.